You going to shoot me?
That depends. Do you see me?
I've heard that you're not comfortable with guns. When you did No Country for Old Men, you play one of the greatest assassins of all time, and then I find out later on you weren't that comfortable with the gun.
Actually, when I do those scenes, I have to put earplugs so I don't get scared of the...
Javier Bardem's most iconic role is arguably Anton Chigurh in No Country for Old Men, a role that pretty much anyone who has seen the movie would agree that he was perfect for. There was actually only one person who felt like he would not be a strong fit for the role, and that person was himself. Now, it's no surprise that No Country for Old Men was one hell of a film. I mean, it's subjectively the best movie the Coen brothers has ever made, and objectively, it's their highest rated film to date. Plus, the movie won 4 Oscars, but we'll touch on that again towards the end of this video. No Country for Old Men, for those who have somehow never seen this film, is a neo-Western crime thriller that follows Llewellyn Moss, a hunter who stumbles upon a drug deal gone wrong and finds a suitcase full of cash. $2.4 million to be precise.
But he's hunting antelope, and he runs into a drug deal gone bad, finds the money, and
couple million.
2.4 million, and then decides to make a better life for himself and his wife.
His decision to take the money sets off a deadly chain of events, as he's pursued by Anton Chigurh, or Chigurh. Either one seems to be correct.
Anton Chigurh.
But Chigurh.
You know Anton Chigurh by sight?
Yes, sir. I know him every which way.
A cold, remorseless hitman who decides who lives or dies. Meanwhile, they're both being pursued by Sheriff Ed, who tries to make sense of the brutal violence consuming his once familiar world. The film explores fate, morality, and the unsettling sense that the world is becoming increasingly chaotic and beyond understanding. So when Javier was first offered the role of Anton by Joel and Ethan Coen, his response was,
You say to them, I don't like violence.
Yeah.
I don't like to speak English much.
I don't speak English, and I don't drive, and I don't like violence.
I don't drive.
Yeah.
And they said, you're our guy.
Yeah, he did. He said, I hate guns and I don't drive.
And after he responded with this self-deprecating list of disqualifiers, the Coens said, that's why we called you. Throughout the film, the character of Anton drives quite a bit. We also get a lot of that bad English that Javier mentioned.
You're a bit deaf, aren't you? I said, what time do you go to bed? What's the most you ever lost on a coin toss? Call it.
Call it.
Yes.
And as the guy also mentioned, he hates violence.
Yes, sir. I got it under control.
Which we get a whole lot of that as well. At the time during a press interview, Javier said, in the almost 20 years I've been working, I've only done 2 movies where I killed someone, and I didn't particularly like it. He later admitted that his hesitation stemmed from a genuine dislike for on-screen violence, but he ultimately accepted the role because they are the Coens, and he was a huge fan of their work, which was enough for him to set aside his personal morals. See, the character of Anton Chigurh from the original Cormac McCarthy novel is basically a complete mystery. The name Chigurh or Chigurh is a name McCarthy came up with because he didn't want the character to have a clear origin.
The first thing I asked Cormac when I met him was, his name is Chigurh, C-H-I-G-U-R-H. What kind of name is that? He tried to find a name that was intentionally untraceable, sort of ethnically or in terms of nationality, or the character is in many ways a mystery in the book.
I seen you was from Dallas.
What business is it of yours? Where I'm from? Friendo?
So with the character being such a mystery, and the actor playing this violent, mysterious character having so much doubt and uncertainty regarding the role, where does the moment of preparation begin? Because as Joel Coen said,
the sort of task in terms of casting the character was, how do you make that character dynamic and real and compelling, but preserve part of that mystery?
Dynamic, real, and compelling, but also needing to preserve the mystery behind the character. So that means that this was already admittedly a challenge for the Coen brothers from the jump, having to adapt a character like Anton to film. So just imagine the challenges for someone like Javier, who has little to nothing in common with such a violent character. And before we can even get into the demeanor and the mannerisms of this character, the biggest gap the Coen brothers had to fill first was, what would he look like? And before we get into those details, I gotta keep the lights on, so here's a quick message from today's sponsor, CyberGhost VPN. With over 38 million users worldwide and over 20,000 excellent reviews on Trustpilot, it's one of the best VPNs available. And I'm sure you guys are already aware, but a VPN is essential for protecting your digital privacy. Every time you browse the internet, there are many eyes following you. And even incognito mode doesn't fully protect you. Your internet provider, your school, your job, and even your home Wi-Fi router can track what you do online. And no one wants that, right? And this is where CyberGhost VPN comes in. Simply select one of their more than 100 locations before browsing to encrypt and redirect all your traffic through their secure servers. This way, no one can see your online activity. CyberGhost also unblocks geo-restricted content and games on over 40 streaming platforms. You can change your virtual location to a different country and access up to 50% more content on Netflix, Amazon Prime, Disney Plus, and many others. It works on Windows, Mac OS, Android, iOS, and you can protect up to 7 devices simultaneously, which is perfect for sharing with friends and family. With my link in the description, you get their best deal, just $2 per month with 4 months free, which is equivalent to an 84% discount. Plus, with their 45-day money-back guarantee, you honestly have nothing to lose. It's an excellent product that I highly recommend, and if you sign up using my link down below, you also support the channel and the full-time content creator dream. And thanks again to CyberGhost VPN for sponsoring today's video. So as we've already established, it's time to explore one of the biggest challenges for the Coen brothers during this film. And that's the question of what would be the physical appearance of such a violent character?
Well, as Joel said before, it was not well described physically on the book, so it was wide open to any kind of interpretation. And actually, the only description that I remember is the blue color of the eyes.
As Javier just mentioned, the only distinct physical trait described in the books was Anton's blue eyes. But as we already know, Chigurh in the movie didn't have any of these physical traits, which means that the terrifying physical appearance that we saw in the film was completely concocted by the Coens.
His haircut was so right, and I knew it and he knew it, and Joel and Ethan just started laughing in a good way.
Just a fantastic haircut. Javier loved the haircut.
No matter how I will try to put it, it will always come to the same position. Shopping with that haircut and everybody will go really scared.
Yeah.
Whose idea was it for him to have this haircut? The Coens. I let my hair grow because I didn't know what they wanted to do. Did like, and in a second I had this thing on my head.
It was a brilliant move to go with such an unexpected and unrelated bad guy haircut like this. It just radiates psychopath vibes, which I guess is one of the many reasons he was voted the most accurate on-screen depiction of one by a group of psychiatrists.
This is what the lead psychiatrist had to say about Chigurh. He seems to be effectively invulnerable and resistant to any form of emotion or humanity.
The challenge was to create this person who would feel nothing. He will follow his own ethics, no matter what, and he will do it against his own will. I guess that's the crazy part. I just tried to portray what Cormac McCarthy put on words on the book, which is an emotional, disattached man, not only to other people's feelings, but his own feelings also. Like if something beyond his control or over him is telling him how to act. As an actor, that's the world that I kind of created for myself to justify Anton Chigurh's actions.
So the Coens basically took a photo of some random guy in a brothel from 1979 and used that guy's hairstyle and similar clothing to create Anton Chigurh. And many fans don't know this, but Tommy Lee Jones was actually the one who gave the Coens the book about whorehouse souvenir photos, which led to them finding the photo of this guy that was the inspiration for the character.
Yeah, whorehouse souvenir photos. It was a man sitting in a bar in a Bordertown whorehouse in 1979. We had that haircut and very similar clothes to what Javier wore in the movie, and it was sort of patterned on that guy.
Now with the look of Chigurh decided, Javier now had to figure out how Chigurh would move, how he would speak, and the most terrifying challenge of all, how to feel nothing. This led not only to him continuing to question and feel insecure about the role, but he also felt depressed.
I remember Javier, and I won't say what it was, but Javier got very frustrated at one point because of a scene. That you go through the fluctuations of insecurity and finding the role.
Funny, because I play No Country for Old Men. I hate violence. I can't take violence. I'm the less violent person you can imagine because I suffer it in my own skin. And in No Country for Old Men, destroys everything around and leaves without a trace. And you will never make sense out of it. You just live with it.
The Coens really allow you to go your way, and if you are wrong, they let you know. But sometimes I wish, like a little kid, to have daddy and mommy telling me what I have to do. But they ask you to be a grown-up, and it's okay. That's your chance. Show me.
Eventually, he was able to nail the speech patterns, the cadence, and the movements of how he felt like this violent force of a character should move and interact with others. It seemed to be the whole feel nothing part, and exploring that area of his mind is what challenged him the most.
I haven't killed anybody so far, so I can really go back to my experience. But what I think is that we all want to kill someone in our life somehow, our parents included. We stopped because we have common sense. With imagination, you can fill that gap of those who cannot stop.
Anton's mental state was the last thing Javier had to go. Being able to wrap his head around this character and how to deliver the role. During an interview, Javier revealed that he asked the Coen brothers why is the character Chigurh doing these things, and they told him, don't worry about it, he just does them. He said that this response made him worry even more. Javier wanted to find reasons or a motivation as a way to help anchor his performance, but the Coens told him that he was thinking too much and that the character just is. This vague foundation left Javier with the challenge of having to build his own reasoning, justification, and his own type of madness that he could tap into to conjure Chigurh.
Otherwise, you will see a machine going on like kind of a Terminator and you won't feel anything for him. And I changed completely my physicality and changed the whole face, everything. I did an amazing transformation. I put a lot of weight on purpose. I ate a lot. I drank a lot of beer.
That was, again, an interesting line I think that Javier had to walk. He's the one character in the book that actually departs from a certain sense of realism. He's both sort of real in the book and an idea.
And multiple times throughout shooting the film, Javier did not feel like it was working. And for a lot of major actors in Hollywood, this would have definitely resulted in them walking off set and just leaving the project alone. Josh Brolin actually explained a lot of what he was going through and how he struggled.
He was so depressed during that thing.
Really?
Oh my God, dude.
Because he didn't like doing it?
No, he was like, look at my hair. What the fuck?
But Josh Brolin really helped me so much at a personal level in that movie.
So he was really depressed because of his hair?
Because he would stay in his apartment with the drapes drawn and all this kind of shit. He just didn't want to go out. He said, I don't like violence. I don't drive. I don't know why they hired me. Why the fuck did they hire me? Like, why am I here?
Well, how did he?
Because I was going through a hard time and he really rescued me. I love you, Josh.
But luckily, as we already know the story, Javier's reluctance to take the role seriously paid off in the end. And although he did have his doubts, he ended up trusting the process and everything worked out for the best. And it's so ironic because what felt like the wrong role at the time ended up being the performance of a lifetime. And turning it down would have been the biggest mistake of his career. Because whether he realized it or not, that whole time he was actually saying no to an Oscar.
Do you start to think about the Oscars?
It could be great, but of course, who doesn't want to be recognized?
And the Oscar goes to Javier Bardem in No Country for Old Men.
All of us were like this watching the movie. And then he leaned over to me and he goes, it's a pretty good movie, isn't it? And I go, it's pretty good, man.
And don't forget to click the link in the description to claim your exclusive CyberGhost VPN discount at only $2 a month. It keeps your data protected while browsing and unlocks access to blocked content around the world. It's completely risk-free, so be sure to head over today and check it out.